Freaking
Welcome
phone is
all to
super annoying.
Bullshit and Bourbon. I'm Mike. We got Jeff here in the bottom right, and we got oh man, the TikTok ban, and we got Gary in the top right. All right, so Taylor wanted to talk about TikTok. He has a fetish on TikTok, and so it was his topic, and then he decided he couldn't make it in the last minute. He had a family emergency, so we're going to wing it a little bit. I do not have TikTok on my phone. I know little to nothing about it. And it sounds like Jeff and Gary are in the same boat. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to kind of widen it out. We'll start talking about it. I got some facts on it because it does have some very serious notes to it, as far as what is the government's role in our day-to-day lives, and kind of what they have say over on something as simple as an app that we can download on our phones. Is it the government's place to be telling us things like that? So without further ado, Gary, what have you been up to since last on the show?
Just holiday stuff, family stuff, retirement packet stuff.
Nice.
Pretty
Nice.
sweet. Looking forward to that. So I finally have my date and know when I'm going to be done.
Nice. Yeah, dude, double check that date because the guy that was in charge of retirements gave me a date and it was a week off. I ended up going to Out Process. I flew over to Out Process and got through everything. Got to the end to sign my DD 214, and the lady was like, "You're a week early." I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Yeah, you're a week early. You need to go home." I'm like, "What are you talking about? Go home."
Yeah.
Like, I'm totally done. Like, can I sign it and then you send it to me like in a week? She's like, "No, you have to come back and sign it in a week." I'm like, "Can you fax it? Can you email it? It's 2015. We have this thing called technology." And she's like, "No, you have to come back and physically sign it." So the reason I'm sharing this is a perfect example of how idiotic our government is. So instead of just scanning it, emailing it, having me sign it in front of the JAG, there at my unit, or something to that extent, and sending it back to it, I had to actually
or even a
back
notary
across like 3 or 4 states back to that to Fort Carson and sign it, and literally walked in, signed it, grabbed it, walked out, drove home. That it was that idiotic.
Yeah. So the good news is, we don't have to go through Fort Carson anymore.
Fuck your face.
Everything is done here. Second best news, I'd actually call this the first best news, is because my recruiter and my buddy helped me out and got me situated as soon as I enlisted. Yeah. There's only three months and 12 days that's not active duty. So there's no argument of when I can retire. Like, I didn't switch.
Oh no, I mean it is what it is. They're going to tell you your date, and if they didn't do the calculations exactly right, for you it's probably a lot easier. For me, I had active Army, then active Marines, a little bit of reserve time, a little IRR time, then I went in the Guard as a Guard member, and then I was active Guard. So it's like I had like all this chopped up service. So yeah, my calculation.
All my stuff has been active duty, so it took less than 5 minutes to figure out when my date was.
I'm sure.
It was super easy because I didn't start. I didn't start with eating crayons.
You're just jealous. You're just jealous because we hog all the red ones in the Marines.
True. And you paint your pants with them. That stripe down your leg. That's all your crayons.
Oh yeah. So, how about you, Jeff? What you been up to?
Man, I remember last time we talked. It's been a bit. This was last year.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I know, right? But okay. I meant last year beyond just New Year's. Like, it was a ways ago. Super busy with end of the year business stuff. Lots of family, things with the holidays, and then my family got I mean, I don't know for sure. We just kind of wrote it out, but we kind of had like a 2 day, like a rotating. No, your turn to be sick. Now your turn to be sick. Now your turn to be sick with. I think it's that norovirus that's going around. Dude, my wife woke up New Year's Eve, not New Year's Day, right? Which would make a little bit more sense. New Year's Eve, puking like she just gotten done, pledging or something. I mean, just
Well,
would not
you need
had to go get
you need to stop getting gay married and kissing dudes on the mouth. That's what needs to happen with that.
my female wife.
Every
My
time you're not
biology.
here, you're either at a gay bathhouse or you're at a gay wedding. One of the two.
I mean, that's fair.
You're
I mean,
That's
that's
why
gay.
I'm sick.
it's kind of an
kill
odds-on
him.
bet, right? But that being said, we had to get like, the anti-nausea medication or whatever because she just wasn't stopping. But so we kind of went through all that, and then we got to watch my 15-month-old niece this last week, and she decides the day she's here that's when she's going to get it. So I'm like scrubbing my couch and I'm scrubbing the floor because it was lots of fun. But beyond that, man, I don't know. I'm glad it's 2025. I'm curious to see what's going to happen in the next several months. And
I'm hoping these markets freaking start getting a little more lively here soon.
well, something's
What
going to
are
happen.
your thoughts on that?
I kind of think we won't see. Well, we saw a pretty big sell-off on Friday because of the jobs report. But I mean, I don't know if you're talking about crypto markets or regular markets. I'm talking about regular markets. But
They risk
pretty
on,
correlated.
risk off.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff moves the same.
I kind of think it's going to be real interesting. I think whatever level of neutrality I think that's going to disappear after inauguration. We're either going to the markets are going to really like because I mean we've obviously talked about the election a lot and Trump and people know he's not my favorite, but he's also our president, so that's fine.
Is he anybody's favorite, or is he the lesser
Yeah,
of two
love
people?
him or hate him, he's going to have
Right. He's who we got, right?
on the account.
No, I do agree with that. I think that's a good point, kind of lesser two evil thing. But that being said, I do think that Trump, while I think he has a massive kind of, on a personal level, is very kind of narcissistic, cares what people think, like personally, like relationally. I don't think he gives a damn about precedence or appropriateness or how you're supposed to do things. And so to me, you give a guy like that in a world where each administration since really George Bush, executive orders have gone like this, right? I think what he might do or attempt to do even in the first day, who knows what that's going to do, right? I mean, the markets are going to love it or they're going to hate it, right? Because I think he's going to go in there and go, I'm back in power and I have no term after this and I'm beholden to no one. Let's see what happens. So like I said, it's going to be really interesting.
It'll definitely be interesting. And honestly, that kind of I think is a good segue into, kind of how I was wanting to, kick off this episode with, again, kind of just, I want to use it as an example to kick it off the wider discussion. But those of you that don't know, I guess it was about 8 or 9 months ago, there was let me pull it up here. There was a bill that was signed into law by Biden that basically bans TikTok. So the whole thing was it was a piece of legislation that involved measures to force TikTok. I think the company that owns it's called ByteDance. It looks like, and
It's Chinese.
Yeah.
What's that?
It's Chinese.
Oh yeah. And it's a Chinese parent company, and it's no secret that pretty much any major tech company or any company in China for that matter, either directly or indirectly, answers to the government. So, anytime that there's like a software or something like that, you have to be aware that there's probably a certain level of monitoring going on or data collection, things like that. So, I mean, I kind of get the rationale, but it's it's kind of a weird precedent to set where the government decides what apps you can download on your phone. Your phone is your personal property. What you choose to put on it should be up to you. I mean, I can understand like government employees and military members and stuff like that. If it's issued to them, by the government, because it potentially is there's sensitive conversations and emails and things like that. I get that. That's government property. However, we'll start with Jeff. What are your thoughts on the government being able to, dictate, what you download onto your phone?
So that's interesting because I have an Apple, right? So the Apple already does that by my contract with Apple, right? Because if they don't want to let something on the iTunes or App Store, they don't. So first you have that gateway, but that's fine because that's their operating system. I mean, to some degree, there's people that are on Android just because of the open source nature of it. But I think I like Apple.
That's actually a valid point.
Right, but that's a private. But I don't have to do business with Apple, right? If I, for example, let's say Apple said no to TikTok, Android says yes to TikTok, I could just switch phones. It was really that big of a deal. Whereas if it's illegal, I don't have that option, right? Here's what I would say.
Also valid. That's also valid.
I feel like, and I've read a little bit, not much at all about this. I mean, I've seen things, I don't know if it's true or not either, right? But I've seen headlines and things that suggest that TikTok has the potential to be this massive security, like it's either collecting tons of data or it's this massive security risk, right? My argument is if we know that, like, what they should say is, okay, Jeff, if you use TikTok, China is going to know, or forces in China will know everything about you, including your social security number and and it's got a backdoor in. They can see when you log into your bank account, and they can sell that to third parties that are going to try to steal your identity. I mean, if they could if they would, and maybe they've done this, and I just don't know, but if they quantified what the risk was, I think that would be. I think I would appreciate that. I mean, I think cyber defense is part of what our country should protect us from foreign actors. Two.
Well, this
if they know that, let's just say that was true. If they knew that,
the national security concerns, the primary rationale behind the bill is national security, with concerns that BitDance, being based in China, would share user data with Chinese government or use the platform for propaganda or surveillance. That's like the whole, the whole, kind of kit and caboodle.
As far as to me, that sounds a lot like if they might kind of thing. To me,
yeah.
To me, it's exactly like you said. If it's government issued phone, that's fine. If I worked for Raytheon and like you can't have these apps on your phone because it might be potentially, leveraged. But this sort of like you can't have this because it might be an issue. Like what I think is much better is like come in here and be like, here's the chunk of code that makes it super shady. We're gonna force them to remove it because they're spying on American citizens, and if they don't, we're not gonna allow it. That's a little bit better. But they're doing this sort of like, it might be happening. Well,
kind of spreading STDs.
What does that say?
Truck Dano, he said China is spreading STDs. That's why they're trying to do that. Hold on.
I mean, that being said, I don't use TikTok. Most of my TikTok exposure is because your brother sends me something funny, and I figure those people will just find another platform and go on Twitter or go on Reels or whatever the hell. But yeah, I do agree with you that it's a precedent that's not comfortable.
Well, the first thing that came to my mind was that it was more about, because if you remember at the time there was the big thing, and it's come out, it's fact that the DOJ and the Biden administration was basically strong arming Facebook and Twitter, pre-X. And a bunch of other social media platforms basically to, use as a propaganda machine. They were like, you can say this, you can't say this, you can't, you need to, ban people that talk about Hunter Biden's laptop. And, if they talk about how the anything about the coronavirus, or, there was all that kind of stuff going on. And me personally, it kind of felt like that. It was like, this is a really like the most popular app at the time. I don't know if it still is, but it was the most popular app at the time, and they don't have control over it. You know, that's what it felt like to me. It was more that it was something they couldn't control, and that's why it needed to be divested. And as part of the bill, the way that they can stay in business is if they divest and basically sell off. I think it's a majority of the company to an American-based company, which would give them the control that they want.
Although recently, kind of concomitantly with this, you saw like just I think this week, maybe this week, Zuckerberg went on Rogan and he's just announced that they're getting rid of Facebook fact checkers, replacing it with community notes. So it seems like and I think a lot of this is Elon, and I think and I think a lot of it's Trump winning, but you know, kind of the anti-woke zeitgeist is kind of coming back, and people are so annoyed with all the helicopter parenting the government and these tech companies have done that I think it's swinging the other direction. But yeah, I'm not so sure. I mean, he talked about how, with the clips I saw, I mean, how much pressure they got from the Biden administration to censor things and take things down, or I guess de-promote things. And that's
Yeah,
really,
yeah.
I think that's a really big freedom of speech problem, right?
No, it really is. And real quick, we got a full chat this evening, so I kind of want to give some shout outs to everybody that takes the time to join us here on Sunday evenings. So we got Josh Dallas, Chili Rainbow. These are all my boys from Blockchain Basement. We got C90, we got Crypto Breezy, we got I said Chili Rainbow. We got the Deadwoods in here, K Jam. Got a whole crew going up in here. We even got Gary playing in the chat this evening. But I just wanted to give all you guys a shout out. Appreciate you guys showing up and sharing the stream, and liking, because it's really what makes this enjoyable to do every Sunday. It's kind of hang out with all the guys and just shoot the shit. I like to try to involve you guys in the chat, in the discussion as much as possible. Speaking of which, C90, you have a valid point. C90 says that opening Pandora's box, that is TV and potentially South Korea, where his LG is built, and North Korea hacking his data. I know he's halfway joking, but the thing is that it happens. They've like a lot of the stuff that you get from Alibaba and from overseas. People are finding data storage chips in like devices that you plug into your laptop and stuff, like in USBs and things like that basically store and transmit data. So stuff that's on your laptop and whatever you load and unload on that thumb drive gets sent somewhere to somebody, and they're collecting data, and I'm sure they have some kind of AI or computer that's going through it and sorting stuff into like, hey, this is financial stuff. This is, gay
Just
porn
more
pics,
porn.
this is, whatever, and put them in different buckets, to be, sorted through by the, appropriate authority. But China is notorious for intellectual property theft.
Oh,
so,
yeah. Look at
always got corporate spies and just, hacking everything. And
look at K-Jam's last post.
What's that? He has the FBI investigating him since June. Both my cell phones have been hacked. Info and also my Windows 10 laptop. I've been in a hotel for months. Oh man, he's got like they're on him. The man is on him.
That sucks.
Okay.
So
that's
KJM.
Hey, KJM, I'm telling you,
keeping it real.
If the FBI is next door, buying an AR is probably not your first step.
Oh,
no,
man.
Send him donuts.
What's that?
Send him donuts, right? Just have like DoorDash.
Dude, just order DoorDash for him. Order DoorDash for him and send him donuts, brother.
Send him a box of MREs.
Yeah, dudes are probably just hungry. They're just sitting over there waiting for you to, waiting for you to get online and give them some entertainment.
I heard okay, I may be completely making this up, but I swear I remember like a year and a half ago, there was some kind of component that was needed for repairing like electrical grid infrastructures,
Yeah.
and they had to cancel the contract because the equipment came from China and it totally had like again some kind of
Yeah, the hacking
it,
material.
it had some kind of hacking where it was like, oh, we put this in, they can like take control of. I think they can hack our grid
Yeah.
anyway,
Yeah.
but it's yeah, it's kind of nuts, right? And to some degree, part of me is like, well, if all this shit's happening anyway, let the people make their stupid videos.
Well, I'll be honest, dude. Like if you want pure privacy, it's an illusion. If you use any electronic devices, just assume you are always being watched and listened to. It just, it paranoid or not. It just, I mean, your phone. Like right now, if I say two key words, my little phone comes to life and will
You can't
do
say
whatever I tell
bomb.
it to do.
Bomb, bada, bomb, 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 bomb.
No. If I say, hey Google, I can tell it to set an alarm for 2 hours and it will do it. It's always listening. It has to be actively listening to be able to do that.
Right.
I mean, it's you're allowing Google to listen. They can remotely turn on your camera. It's not hard. I mean, I'm not a computer wizard. I mean, if you have the IP address of somebody's computer, somebody that knows what they're doing, if you don't have appropriate firewalls and stuff like that, and sometimes even then, they can access your camera, turn on your microphone. They do all kinds of stuff. You click on a link in an email, and you can, it will grant access to everything on your computer. If it has malware.
Let's address this from Josh.
All right, what's this? What's this?
He says, "Do VPNs actually help?" No. The NSA can.
Oh, VPNs do. They mask your IP address.
They do, but NSA can still get into it. So you're
no,
not
when you start getting into that level, when they're using like Pegasus,
right. I was going to say, like, I think
Israeli
all of the
software,
things.
Well, they have it's called Pegasus. It's this Israeli software that I think it's the Mossad came up with, their intelligence people. But basically, it can hack anything. I mean, it can hack anybody's phone. It can. The thing is just like a freaking artificial intelligence almost, I guess. But yeah, it's strictly
You
controlled.
can actually, there's actually places online you can check and see if your phone is. I mean, unless you're pretty damn important, it's very unlikely that they would waste the resources on.
Yeah. I mean, but it's just what I was getting at before I got on a rabbit trail is just the fact that we're all so sensitive about privacy. If you truly want privacy, you have to move out to where I'm at and then unplug your router. Unplug my Starlink. That is the only way that I know I'm not being listened to, and watched or whatever. Because, like I said, I mean, you got smart TVs, you got remote controls that are voice activated, you got your phone. People got Alexa, listening.
And it's
to
not
them
just
and
in our
stuff
homes;
like
it's in public too, right? I sometimes I
that.
wonder,
Yeah.
like the road. Not that I mean, I'm not a criminal, and I don't want to have a crime committed against me. And I realize that Robin Hood is just a fantasy, right? But there's a certain sort of I don't know if it's romance or what about like the outlaw mythos, right? The idea of like kind of like it's the anti-hero or just a guy that kind of can get one up on the government. And you want how is that like how are people going to be how is that going to work in another 50 years when everything's filmed 24/7 by Big Brother? It's just like I saw a kid, I don't know if it was a kid, but I saw this video from Tokyo a couple years ago, and this guy he like broke into like a liquor store or he did something, but he rigged a hoodie up that he put LED lights all around so that when he was walking down the street, the cameras they have everywhere couldn't make out his face because of the glare.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
they've had
genius.
a lot of people
And part of
over, I
you's
think
got to
it's in
be
the
like,
UK, have started wearing like these masks, these mesh masks that go over their face so that the cameras can't do the facial recognition and stuff. Like I guess it's a form of protest because they're just sick of being monitored everywhere they go. So they got like these white mesh masks that everybody's wearing.
crazy, man.
So yeah, KJAM was saying that they were routing his VPN through the FBI and ATF. I mean, like I said, I'm not saying it's not possible. Yeah, I mean the government has all kinds of crazy stuff, but you'd have to be doing some, like Jeff was saying, you have to be doing some crazy shit for, them to dump those kind of resources, into listening to little old me that, talks about, how they hate taxes and stuff like that. You know what I mean? They're looking for like legit people, not just disgruntled people. If they're looking for disgruntled people, they'd be listening to everybody 24/7.
It's so I guess the original question, no, I don't think excuse me, I don't think the government should be deciding what programs we do and do not have. Assuming that the programs are not malicious start to finish, right? Like, for example, I don't think that we should be able to go on to like download.com and download Pegasus for our own individual use, right? So,
you can, obviously.
And of course, yes. But
yeah.
So I do think there's a general like baseline level of fair play and security, but the problem becomes once they start interpreting it for you, then it depends on which team's in power.
And, my personal thoughts on it is, and I've given a bunch, but what I'll say in summary is, I just don't think the government's place is in any aspect of our life other than keeping a secure border, dealing with foreign policy, and that's pretty much it. There's some basics like you don't steal, you don't kill, things like that. But other than that, I think that pretty much people should be left to their own devices and to work things out on their own.
I agree with you. There's one big piece that we haven't talked about, and how many millions of dollars are going through TikTok right now with the OnlyFans page or whatever.
Yeah.
If the U.S. can't have control of it, then that's money out of their pocket.
Of course. I mean, so everything is all about money or power.
They have additional income.
It's like,
well, I do think a lot of the TikTok creators, though, are American, right?
Well, what were you saying, Gary? Sorry.
Oh, I was just, I don't know when I got cut off, but it was, the U.S. doesn't want TikTok because they don't have control of it. And there's millions and millions of dollars being flooded through TikTok, through all the influencers, etc. So if they don't have control, then the money doesn't stay here. It goes back to the developer. Call it China, right? So if they don't have control, they're going to ban it, which now in turn takes us to Lemonade. Have you seen Lemonade? Lemonade is a new app that if you download that app, it takes all your followers, everybody you following and everybody's been following you, automatically feeds into Lemonade. And it's a new app that's taken over for TikTok. So you want to ban TikTok? Cool. Somebody created another one that's going to be the same thing, just named different.
Interesting. So this is kind of related. Kind of. What do you think about, you guys see, I'm going to come back to this, but I just got to get something before I forget it. What do you see about, was it like the mayor of the police chief in London was saying that he's going to come after American citizens for comments they make on the internet?
I didn't actually watch it, but yeah, I've seen plenty of memes and people posting about it. That
is so unrelated.
It's so unrelated, but it's about censorship. And it's about,
it is. It's about government overreach. But I mean, what has allowed these government officials to get so bold to, even utter something like that? I mean, I remember as a kid, like you would never, what they were doing behind the scenes is a whole nother, topic, but you would never see a politician that would be so bold as to say something like that. I mean, if they said darn, freaking while they were on TV, it was it was like, oh, his career's over. It's like nowadays you got politicians talking about eat the rich and freaking, people should be deported for, saying certain things, and people, like different political parties, basically arguing about the I forget the word, but basically I guess the ethics of either an open or a closed border. It's and pretty much they both want the same thing. They just want to go about it a totally different way. It's like, we all want immigration. We just want legal immigration. We don't want people getting taken advantage of on the border. Freaking, people getting sold into slavery and sex slavery, and being mules for drugs and things like that. We all want the same things. We want all that stuff to stop. It's just some people are just like, well, just let them in. My understanding is that doesn't stop the victimization of the people coming across. It's like if we secure the border and people stop coming here, it stops that. And it forces people to go through the certain process, which is broken. It needs
But
to be addressed.
at least, kind of back to your, at least no one. We might have massive political disagreements about what the appropriate solutions for the border are.
Yeah.
But I've heard nobody argue that the United States has a right to regulate their own border. They've just argued about what the regulation should be or the enforcement should be. Whereas I'm still like, whether we're talking about the UK guy, police chief getting his penis in a wad, or TikTok, I don't understand why any country thinks they now have the sovereign control over cyberspace. Like if I reply to a person in Facebook, that's not in the UK.
Well, I mean, think about this. The government, I know the U.S. government, they've been, arguably trying to come up with, MK Ultra. There's endless freaking projects that are legit on the books where the U.S. government was trying to figure out ways to control people, through psychedelics and all kinds of other means and resources. Fucking look at what social media does. You can control a whole society if you control the information that goes through social media. You can shape narratives. It's what they did with regular news for decades. But now that mainstream media, nobody trusts it anymore, because with the internet, everybody knows the truth about everything all the time. Everybody has a phone on them. Everybody's recording and tweeting and doing everything about it. So you can't hide the truth anymore. It's just the curtain's been pulled back. And if you can control it, and through algorithms and stuff like that, and guide people to where you want them to go mentally. As a government, wouldn't you want that? It's.
I like to think the answer is no, but I get it, right? Control's a very tempting thing, I'm sure. Especially when they're not sharing everything with us anyway.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying. Is just it's in government's nature. They want more power, more money, more control, because they get bigger. If they have to hire people to manage that and take care of that, and they can get their this person get their brother and their sister this cush government job, and it's just like government is born to grow.
So I challenge you one question.
All right.
Is it about censorship? Is it about censorship or control?
What's the difference?
I think censorship is control.
So what's the difference? So censorship, you're telling me that I can't say something,
or see something, or read something,
right?
Assume it, or
just if you post it, not allowing it to be seen by anybody, like ghost banning you, basically.
That's control, right? So you're controlling an app that
but you're controlling by censoring.
Yeah, stops you from getting your opinion out there. Mm-hmm. But what drives that?
So it's kind of one leads to the other.
I think censorship is a mechanism of control.
Right, but what drives that? Right now in 25, what drives that?
What do you mean? I don't know. That's a good question.
Money.
Well, sure. Yeah.
Okay, so what's the motivation behind wanting to censor people?
A piece of paper is controlling people's lives, and people have got to wake up and realize that until we take that control away, they're gonna continue. We're gonna continue down this rabbit hole of censorship or dictatorship of what we can and can't do, what we can and can't load on our phone.
Yeah.
So this bill that we're talking about, how many people actually voted on it? Or is it just Congress that's voting on it?
Oh, it's
So I got
passed, I think.
hold on really quick. I got the vote. So the bill passed with significant bipartisan support in both the House and Senate. It was part of a broader foreign aid package, that sneaky little thing that they do,
Right.
tuck it into something that has nothing to do with
Yep.
what it is. And then aimed at supporting Ukraine, Israel, and Taiwan. The Senate voted 79 to 18 in favor, and the House passed it with 360 to 58 vote. So it was a substantial bipartisan bill. There was
Because
a
it
lot of votes.
benefits because it benefits who and how.
Oh, dude, the amount of money that is fucking me personally, I think being laundered, I'll be honest, through this Ukraine, Israel, with all this,
Yep.
tax money, billions of dollars that are getting sent over there. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, fact check me, please. But I think that it was reported that Ukraine, or like some roundabout way from Ukraine, there was some shady political donations, I'll say. But isn't it? I thought it was illegal for any foreign money to like be injected into any campaign for any reason.
It is.
You guys, it is.
Yeah, but the way they do it, right, is you have a foreign camp. I mean, it's just you can have a foreign country donate, they fund a company, and then that company funds another company.
Oh,
That company becomes
yeah,
part of a super PAC, and then that super PAC supports a candidate, and it's just,
Oh my God.
yeah.
Hang on
There's
a
always
second.
some legal way around it.
Hang on a second. Jeff, let me summarize what he's telling you. He's a lawyer. There's always a loophole.
I'm not a lawyer. I'm a financial planner, and there's always a
Yeah.
loophole.
No, Taylor's the lawyer.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
should
Yeah,
see
Taylor's
what I
the
learned
lawyer.
about it's. I tell people to that point though, because it still applies.
It does.
When I get my tax seminar, I tell people if you print out the U.S. tax code, roughly, I mean, like, I don't know, 10 font on Times New Roman or something, it's like 2,800 pages.
Yeah.
If you print out the instructions and regulations to apply the tax code, it's like 7,500 pages. If you print out the case law that has been established based on people misunderstanding, challenging, or getting audited by the regulations
It's
that
the
apply to tax code,
Encyclopedia
it's
Britannica.
75,000 pages.
Yeah.
It's insane.
No, it's
but my point is
insane.
there is always a loophole and a loophole to the loophole and a loophole to that
Oh,
loophole.
you just have to have the money to hire the people that know them, because
100%.
that's how it works. And that's why I don't know. I know we're all over the place, but this is just kind of meant to be that tonight, I think. But I kind of feel like that there might be some growing support for a flat tax. So basically just doing away with all these weird laws and loopholes and back doors, and just saying, you make this much, you pay this percentage, just done and done, get rid of all these different taxes, like the sales tax and the inheritance tax and the, tax, there's just taxes everywhere, anytime money changes hands. So, who knows how many times a single dollar gets taxed. So, what I mean, I don't know. I guess what is your guys' feelings on taxes? Because that's that kind of leads to government control and things like that. So kind of wondering.
I'm about to send you down a rabbit hole.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Taxes by law is voluntary.
So I hear. So I hear.
Ready, set, go.
So
I disagree.
hear.
Actually, how about this? It may be voluntary, but it will not save your ass from me going to jail if you really piss them off.
That's
ask
thing,
Wesley Snipes.
You can volunteer to not pay taxes, and then they will volunteer you to go to prison. How's that sound?
Taxes are voluntary, but there's laws in place that say that if you don't pay the taxes, you can be incarcerated or fined.
Is it voluntary? It's twisted because I mean it's insane the amount of taxes we pay. It's like between 30 and 50%. After it's all said and done. Sales tax, all that kind of stuff. Income tax. It's insane. This country was founded in part, not in whole, but in part because like I think it was like a 2% increase in taxes on tea. You know,
Yeah.
it's like, what happened to that America where they were just like, fuck this, you're gonna tax my tea? I'm gonna overthrow this shit. People like kicking over chairs and shit, pulling out muskets, rallying the troops, fucking taxing the motherfucking tea.
We've got C90 says, I volunteer not to give jail a tryout. That's a good plan because jail's not what it's all meant, all kind of sparked up to be. It's not flashes.
I don't know. I hear there's a if you were like gay and wanted to go on a workout plan, it's probably a great place to go.
Wait, what? What kind of workout plan are you talking about?
And maybe if you're one of those people,
oh, dude, no. Every jail I've ever seen has like a badass gym. It's like you're going to be like learning how to fight and stuff. It's like,
okay,
it's like a boot camp.
Let me take you back 18 years. Do you remember my in-processing packet? The waiver that we had to get? Hey, remember that waiver we had to get? Yeah, jail's not all that's what it's cracked up to be.
Somebody's got a story.
No, we don't.
Yeah, no. Well, anybody that's watched the show a couple of times, I actually was an Army recruiter for a while and enlisted Gary into the Army. So I intimately know his medical history, his legal history, like, his family's history.
He knows shit that the Army doesn't know.
Yeah, it's like, he's an interesting guy. I'll let him choose what he wants to share and not share.
We can start that conversation on 1 January 2027.
Sounds good. Sounds good. So let's see. What do we got here in the chat? All right. It sounds like
not built like McAfee. I don't know who the hell McAfee is.
Oh, he's the dude that made the antivirus, McAfee antivirus.
Oh, gotcha.
He was. I think it's John McAfee.
Yeah, he was
really interesting dude. Really interesting dude. If you haven't, they actually did a movie about him. Yeah, you want to go down a rabbit hole? This guy had all kinds of conspiracy theories, and he ended up going nuts or something, according to sources, down in Central America somewhere, and was talking about the government this, and they were coming after him, and then he mysteriously dies. Hillary got him or something. I don't know.
And Josh, you said sounds like several stories, bro. There's not an episode that's going to last less than 6 hours with my stories.
Well,
the catch is you got to keep watching and wait till 2027 when I can actually tell the stories.
Story time with now. Why is it 2027? Is that when you're retiring?
It's when he gets out of the military.
Yeah, okay.
Then I can participate in all the conversations, speak my real truth,
and all the stuff and things that
I can move and not be 2 miles away from the NSA. That'd be good.
Yeah.
I think the point of the NSA, though, it doesn't matter where you're on the planet; they can kind of tap you on the shoulder.
And honestly, that's what it is. It's a giant facility that the majority of which is underground in Lehi, Utah, or over by
Bluffdale,
south of Salt Lake. But it's a giant mega computer that basically monitors cell phone traffic and communications, and just does whatever it's told. Listen for certain keywords, certain phrases, whatever, and it sorts it into buckets of as far as intelligence data gathering, and it gets processed at some point through a human after it filters it all down to hey, this is no bullshit, something that a human should listen to, and somebody goes through it, and that's how part of their data collection. It's called SIGINT, or signals intelligence.
So for the people that don't pay attention, start watching the SUVs, silver, black, white, and I've seen 2 red ones. They look like mom vehicles, but if you look on the top, it's a very flat square box on the top. That's satellite. They're driving around listening for all the key texts and phone calls.
So I got a question about that. Now I realize I fully expect that the answer to this is probably yes. However, WhatsApp, Signal, these other like third-party software you can download. They'll say, "Hey, we encrypt on your device and send it to the other person on their device, whether it's text or phone calls. Your stuff's encrypted." Are they just breaking that encryption? That's pretty significant if they are. I mean, I would take
No,
a
like I said, I mean that Pegasus software, and who knows what else they have out there, but it basically breaks
Oh, I'm sure
encryption.
that can do, but I'm saying in real time, you can't apply that to every single one of our phones' conversations. I mean, the power that would require computationally is insane.
Not really. I mean, because you figure that if it's going through any kind of central location, cell phone towers, things like that, they just have to really monitor those. Internet hubs, most internet networks at some point go to satellite. Like if you look on your, like if you get a VPN or anything like that, you can see where the node that you're a part of, where the kind of the middle of the node is, and usually there's a satellite uplink or it's attached to a satellite uplink at some point. So, all you have to do is really monitor those, and you monitor everything.
It's crazy, scary.
So here's how I translate encryption. I'm the government. I'm the triple letter agency, right?
Yeah. Alphabet.
Here's my encryption. I'm going to block your communication between Jeff and Mike from everybody else in the world, but I'm still going to keep it. I'm still going to use it against you if I have to.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
That's all encryption is. You can't. There's no possible digital way to block everybody's conversation with anybody else, unless it's in person, whisper in the ear. There's no way to block it.
Dude,
somebody's gonna have it.
If you talk to anybody that has done any like counterintelligence or like any real intel work, like boots on the ground, most of them don't use any electronics at all, except unless it's like highly like military encryption. They just don't, because of that reason. It can be tracked, it can be listened to, it can be everything.
Yep. Thank you for posting that comment, because I was trying to sound smart, but I couldn't remember the name of it. But yes, traceroute is kind of one of the things that I was leading to.
Dude, how creepy is C90's situation back in the day?
Yeah, that dude needs a new hotel. Or no, was that KJAM?
No, that's KJAM. No, KJAM is the one that's running from the law right now.
Yeah, you need an underground hotel, bro.
Right? He needs to go to
the
John Wick. He needs to go to the John Wick hotel.
So, what's crazy to me is, if somebody in my neighborhood told me what my kids were surfing on the internet, I'd be much more disturbed by that than whatever my kids were doing. They're like, "Why are you spying on my kids' internet traffic?" That's
right.
Yeah.
Well, dude.
Well,
I mean,
here's the crazy thing:
I know people that will drive down a road with a laptop and basically just look for people's routers that don't have a password.
Secured.
Yeah, if they don't have a password, and then they can get in to every computer and every device that's hooked up to their fucking internet. It's just a fucking free gateway into the whole fucking network.
So here's the crazy thing about why are you monitoring my kids' phones? Well, if you look at the comments, good old fashioned burners, the burner phones, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, how many crazy people out there are saying, "Hey, Johnny Kid, let me see your phone for a second. Look up porn or look up how to kill somebody." That's why they're monitoring the kids. It's not because of the kids. It's because ridiculous people that are hiding in ridiculous hotels. Just kidding, KJAM.
Hey, you never know, man. KJAM might know some things or witness some things or something. We don't know.
Just kidding. But yeah, that's why they monitor our kids' phones, because adults will take their phones and not tie it to themselves.
Okay, I get that. Secondly, my son typed in "to kill" on his search engine. My son's a beautiful, very good boy, by the way. He's just so you know, he's 14. Gets immediately called him, and he sits. He's never ever ever gone to the principal's office, right? He's never gotten less than straight
Yeah.
A's. He's sitting there, and they're like, now, before I call your parent, would you like to explain to me why you typed in to kill? And he's like, what? He's like, you typed in to kill. I mean, we know that. We can see that, you did it on our computer, not, And he's like, well, I did it in English class. And he's like, why'd you do it in English class? He goes, because they just assigned to kill a mockingbird.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's exactly what I
That
was
was
just
my
about to
first
say.
thought.
Kill
So
a
then he calls
mockingbird.
the teacher, and she's like,
Yep.
yes, we literally were. And he was like pulling it up. He's pulling up like who the author was, the Wikipedia page, and whatever.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, you can go. And I was just like,
I'm
but
14.
part of me
Who am
was a
I
little
going to
bit
kill?
pissed. Yeah, I'm like, okay, I appreciate you like got it locked down, but they didn't even give me a call like, hey, by the way, we're going to ask your kid about these questions. It was just no.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah.
But you got to keep people safe, and that's
it's kinda
fine.
one
I
of
mean,
those things-
I would be really pissed off if they didn't do that. It was some school shooter.
Well,
right?
this is
yeah.
where I think we need Taylor involved in this, because I'm pretty sure they're not allowed to by law because they're a minor.
Yeah, Josh did get it.
But
Meanwhile,
he was
KJM
typing
is
it in
freaking
a
me out,
computer that
man.
was in the library or in the classroom, so it's school property.
Yeah, 100%. They had the right to do it. I'm not saying that they didn't. I'm just saying that's how.
No. I was
Lockdown
letting
stuff is,
Gary
right?
know. I think he thought that he was doing it on his phone.
On his
No.
phone,
He was doing it on the
yeah.
school laptop.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I
Then,
agree
yeah,
with you, Gary. Yeah.
then they have full
if they were monitoring his phone, I'd be like, what in the literal fuck?
Right.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, I agree with you though. I'd be even more pissed if, somebody was looking, something nefarious up and, they didn't take action.
Right. So there's immediate, there's that balance, right, between security and freedom, or safety and freedom, I guess I should say.
So with a C90's comment about the coworker,
Yeah, here I'll throw it up real quick.
yeah, so that's part of those vehicles that I watch, because where I'm based, the NSA is across the street. So anytime I come or go, I'm watching these vehicles move, and I've seen plenty of them with those little boxes on the top of the vehicle. That's how they're catching all these comments. They're driving through the city looking for stuff like that. So yeah, it's super easy for them to be in your house in half hour.
Well, and a lot of people kind of laugh that, something like that would be in Utah, but you got to figure there's a surprisingly diverse population for one, and there is a huge amount of tech that has moved from California to Utah. They call it Silicon Slopes. And like I was talking about earlier, you have a lot of Chinese government and Chinese military that they'll send people into these tech companies to get jobs and stuff like that and get access and, date these high level executives that maybe have access. And, they're all trying to get intellectual property, or they're all trying to, angle for different stuff. So it's not just the government, listening to us. It's, that's what they're looking for. Is they're trying to build.
Based on these comments, we need to get once KGM resolves. Good luck, brother or sister, whoever you are, right? Whatever.
Yeah.
Once they resolves the situation and survives this,
they need to come
on this podcast and hear. Look at the stuff that he's writing, dude. This is crazy.
Do you hear the stories? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's KJM. I guess we could have a KJM special and bring KJM on and just let him tell us what's going on.
KJM Unleashed.
Yeah, that's what we'll do. Yeah, KJM off the chains.
So you've all seen the movie with Jim Carrey, Liar, Liar, right?
Yes.
So all these laws we're talking about, the overwatch of the government, it's pretty easy. Don't break the law, asshole.
C90 says, I thought Silicon Slopes had more to do with Dolly Parton than Utah.
No,
she's a national treasure.
She's original.
Yes. Dolly Parton is a national treasure.
And she's the OG. No silicone there.
That's right.
She might not. Who knows? Either way, God bless her.
Have you lost your young ass mind? Bro, she has been that big since I was this big.
Hold on.
but she stayed that big, which is a little bit weird.
Yeah. Oh, we lost Gary. I think he hit a button or his power went out.
Oh, well, there you go.
Now what's that? I think I sent
Gary
the
just
police.
got canceled by the NSA.
Yeah. I think I sent the police report to vet. I don't think. Oh, maybe you did. You sent me a lot of stuff, KJam. So yeah, half of it I don't click on. I just
You
I don't
shouldn't,
click
because they'll be
on.
listening to you.
I don't click on hyperlinks. I don't care who they're from. I refuse to click on hyperlinks. Like I said, just with the crypto and stuff that I do, like the laptop that I access all my crypto stuff on. There he is.
Why did I get
don't.
kicked out?
I think
Because you sent the wrong
must have
thing,
hit
Gary.
If you don't like me, put it in text.
I met a guy about 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago. He's extremely successful in IT security. And he was sort of, I don't, he's a very, very bright guy. I don't know if he's Goodwill Hunting smart, but kind of in that range, right? Just sort of a
Yeah.
savant in his area. Anyway, when he was a teenager to a very, very young man, I'm talking 19, 20, 21. He was a hacker, but he wasn't really he wasn't like, I'm going to hack and steal billions of dollars. Like, he was just breaking into shit to see if he could.
Doing it for fun.
Yeah.
So he's hacking. I don't know. I'm sure there's a term for it, but it was just more like challenge accepted kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So apparently he broke into something that Uncle Sam owns, and that pissed them off greatly. I don't know what KJM did, but in this case, it was an FBI shows up. He gets taken someplace. He's in this room. He's like, oh, shit, maybe person comes in and does the whole, it's just like you see in the movies, dude.
I went too far.
That's the whole, well, option A is, here's our evidence.
Yeah.
You get to go to jail. Option B is, would you
You
like
break
to
into
work
stuff
for this
for us.
3-letter agency?
Yeah. You got to
so
break
he
into
did
stuff for us.
For 10 years. And then he gets out, starts a cybersecurity company, right? Does really well with that. Then does another one.
Yeah.
But I was just like, come on. I remember, and he was so realistic in this. But then the guy that introduced me, I was one of my friends for 20 years, and he's known him. And I'm like, okay, but seriously. He's like, no, seriously, dude. They fucking picked his ass up straight off his college campus, took him away. And he came back 3 days later. And he's like, I'm dropping out.
I don't recall, but I'm pretty sure there's a movie.
He's like, I gotta go.
To that.
Yes, I'm sure there is, but I was just like, what?
Well, I mean, if you're looking for top hackers, white hat, black hat, whatever, it's that's why a lot of security companies and stuff like that, they'll hold hackathons, they call them, and they'll call $1 million. If you can hack our software, if you can break into our computer system, we'll pay you $1 million. And they have prizes, and so all the best people come out. I mean, what a better recruiting way to recruit people. If somebody hacks your system or breaks into your system, and you have government level shit, it's like, we want that person working for us, so we can find out how they did it.
Take the threat off the street.
Take the threat off the street. It's what is that? Keep your enemies close, or your friends close,
enemies closer.
Friends close, enemies closer.
There's something to be said for it. It's like, if they can get into our systems, they can definitely get into other government systems. They can help us fix our system, however they got in. There's just a lot they have to offer.
All right, so you're an adult, so click if you would like. But KJam sent you image files to your ex.
And I'm good, brother. I'm not. I want to stay off the FBI's radar.
Although on the plus side, if they're ever next to your house, you're gonna know for sure.
Oh man, yeah. If they're monitoring my shit, the only good thing is if somebody's hanging around my crib, it'll be obvious. it'll definitely be obvious. So
Right,
around my
exactly.
crib.
Yeah.
So
Oh my
Yeah.
goodness.
unless they're like dressed up as deer or turkey, sitting in my front yard. It's got like got some freaking NSA agent in a turkey costume like, running around my front yard. Trying to blend in.
You get
The
on here and you're
mascot
like,
of
guys,
disguise.
there's a couple of FBI furries in front of my house.
Yeah, right. It's like I got a bunch of fucking NSA and ATF agents out front doing like the gay furry stuff. What the hell?
Josh.
He's dressed like Fozzie Bear. It's so weird.
Josh Dallas.
Fozzie Bear getting it on with Big Bird. Get a
What's
room.
happening here? Nature's strange.
Yeah.
Hey, so hey, Josh Dallas just posted plot twist. K-Jam's actually FBI.
I know, right? Right? He's trying to like goat me in. You're not.
Oh,
you fool me once, K-Jam. That won't fool me twice. So, yeah, no. But I mean that's an hour. I mean it's. I don't want to draw this out too long, but it was definitely ended up being a very fun conversation. It's like I was kind of thinking, I don't know if I wanted this to be the topic for tonight, but I'm actually really glad we did. It's I think it brought up a lot of really good topics and kind of just a current state of things. And
tomorrow we'll know how good episode it was if all of our internet shut off.
Right.
We can't call anybody.
We're like, it was an awesome episode. And they like showed up at our door. It's an awesome episode. No, but you know what? Let's close with this. So we've seen the Biden-Harris administration and the growing, Big Brother, or Big Brother's always listening. Growing those powers, and it didn't start with them. The Patriot Act, it sounds like something awesome, but there's a lot of things that have been going on for a while that are a serious violation of our constitutional rights. So let's close on this. We'll go around the horn. Question is, do you think it's going to get any better under Trump? Jeff.
Yikes. Absolutely.
I just fucking lobbed one over the plate.
That is a loaded question.
It's a loaded question.
I think it will appear to get better under Trump. How about that?
All right.
I don't think anybody is given, like, Trump's not going to get in the Oval Office, get his first national security briefing again and go, you know what, guys, let's listen a little less. No. But I think he'll say the right stuff.
No, well,
I think it'll be less obvious on things like Facebook, Twitter, all that stuff. But I don't know.
Behind the scenes, you don't think it will make much difference?
I don't think anybody in NSA is worried about their job at all.
Oh yeah, no, it's these agencies, NSA, CIA, they don't care. They're like their own little government.
Now, I'm going to re-lob something back, which we probably don't have time to talk about, but I'm curious. I will say this: the thing that scares me the most is where I see it on Twitter. I'm sure you guys see it too, where it'll be like I saw one the other day. It's like the next, like if you hit the thread, the next 10, images or videos are all 100% AI. Because we're used to AI videos where the guy's got like 7 fingers on one hand, and now you got women like it's like some girl in a bikini. She's got like the tiny little like actual hair that humans have, and it's not like you can't tell.
It's hard to tell.
And how
it's like going to Thailand and going to a bar. It's hard to tell.
So to me, so my point being, if you really wanted to start massive unrest, right, you could literally.
I think I might have proposed to a dude at one point. It's hard to tell.
Oh my God! Don't tell our secrets.
Not till January 1st, 2027. So that's what I'm most worried about. Is like we all log on, we see a video of Trump or some world leader being assassinated and it's actually not real. I mean, so I said this to Taylor, actually. I said, look, what's weird is the world we live in now.
Yeah.
If Independence Day happened, like the Alien movie back in the 90s, right? If
Yeah,
that happened, truly, the only way for any of us to know for sure would be to either be in Washington or close to or New York or wherever, or have somebody that we trusted so implicitly we knew they would never lie to us because it looked real back then. Now it's like indistinguishable from reality.
Oh no, dude, I guarantee you. I mean, we had an episode about it, you guys know, but with AI and robotics, like, I mean, these next 5 to 10 years are gonna make the last 100 years look like fucking the Stone Age. It's gonna be insane. I mean, movies, they won't need actors. They won't need. We could go on about this forever, but Gary,
Yeah.
do you think it's going to get any better under Trump?
Oh my God! All right, so
you're commander in chief now.
The current commander in chief and the cabinet, Congress, I believe they will make the best decisions in the best interest of the U.S. people.
How political of you! All good. It's all good.
I will tell you.
Read your Lima Charlie. I read your Lima Charlie, Gary. No, no more.
2027. 2027.
1 January.
There you go.
Yep. I moving on.
Our best interest will be in mind.
So my thoughts. If I think it's going to get, I tend to think that these things, once in place, become very deep rooted very quickly. Power taken is rarely, if ever, given back. So I don't think, like you were saying, I don't think that much is going to change. On the surface, it will feel like it because I think businesses like Facebook already is doing it. Zuckerberg moved the what do they call that? Basically, the Ministry of Propaganda. They moved them from California to Texas. All those fucking blue-haired people that were banning you from Facebook and putting you in Facebook jail for anything they didn't agree with.
And he removed the fact checkers.
Yeah, that's who I'm talking about. The fact checkers. So I think that businesses, I think this woke movement, a lot of these, using the 58 or 72 different genders and, the bathrooms and all this just, I don't know, just, I don't want to say weird, but just things that shouldn't be this important. You know what I mean? It's like we have bigger things to worry about than, if I called you they, them or something like that. You know what I mean? There's so many much bigger things in this world that are going on. So I think that we're going to get back to swing the other way and things are going to get a little bit more sensible. People will seem to, have more freedoms or liberties if you want to, I guess, depending on how you look at it. But I think behind the scenes, it'll be business as usual.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, it's always business as usual. Secrets from the public. Okay, on that note, you're about to get me in trouble.
Well, Jim, I'm gonna go anyway. So
yeah, let's call it. I just wanted to end on kind of maybe see what's next kind of thing. But I appreciate all you guys for showing up. Josh Dallas, K-Jam. Who else we got? K-Jam spamming. I'm kidding. C90 FTW. Thanks, brother. We had the Deadwood here for a while. I think that's a pretty good shout out. We got a pretty long chat. I was having a hard time keeping up with it. Keep up the good work, chat.
Yeah, K-Jam, stay out of jail. Pick a new hotel.
Yeah, dude. Whatever you're doing, reverse course, brother. It's like you're like barreling towards the rocks. You're like a fucking ship barreling towards the rocks, dude. Full right rudder.
Skydiving with no chute.
You might want to throw a left rear rudder on at the same time to give a little extra. But, with that, I will say good night to you all, and we'll see you later, brothers.
Talk to you next time.
Night, guys.